If you get a wooden cutting board for your kitchen, you're setting yourself up for a little more maintenance than you would be with a plastic one. Most of the time, that just means washing the board by hand rather than running it through your dishwasher. Periodically, you'll also want to refinish your board with mineral oil or a good board conditioner. Throughout the life of it, you might end up resurfacing it from time to time when the knife scratches get too many or too deep. The real beauty of a wooden cutting board is their ability to be repaired when something more serious happens to them. Maybe some rough handling or an accidental fall causes a crack or a break. It may seem devastating when it first happens, but I'm here to show you how easy it is to fix. This particular board is the first end grain board I ever built. I made the mistake of building it out of lumber that wasn't completely dry, and just a few weeks after finishing it, these cracks began to form. Fixing it is as easy as cutting the cracked portion out of the middle, then just gluing the two halves back together. But I decided as long as I was working on it, I would give it a little upgrade at the same time by making it a little bit bigger. I had this chunk of ash left over from a different end grain project, so I set my bandsaw to cut it to the same thickness as the board. Then I squared up one end using my crosscut sled. Interesting fact about this specific cut, since the board has the end grain facing up, this is technically a rip cut instead of a crosscut. I was interested to see the inside of this well-used cutting board, and I was surprised at how little the mineral oil finish had actually penetrated it. It turns out the oil was really only at the very surface of the board. Now granted, this board hadn't been oiled in months, so now I'm thinking further testing might be in order. Leave me a comment if you think I should do an experiment about oil penetration in cutting boards. I slathered some waterproof glue onto the boards, then clamped them together. I made sure to clamp the seams to keep them flush to cut down on the sanding later. After drying overnight, I cut the overhanging ash off flush with the edge of the board. Since this board had a juice groove on one side and handles in the ends, I needed to continue those through the new ash section. I set the groove face down on a cove bit that was extended up too high in my router table, then lowered the bit down until the board just touched the surface of the table. Then I pulled the fence up until it made contact with the full length of the board and locked it down. Before starting the cuts, I made some start and stop marks on the top of the fence so I didn't cut too far. Lining up the edge with the start line, I carefully lowered the board onto the spinning bit, then fed it through until the stop line appeared on the backside. I sanded the surface and the grooves to blend the seams between the new and old boards so you couldn't feel a difference. With most of the board's surface soaked in mineral oil, the sandpaper got gummed up in a hurry. Once it was smooth to the touch, I let the board relax for a while in a soothing oil bath. Then I just wiped it dry, and that's all she wrote. Adding that extra section complicated this a little bit, but obviously you don't have to do that if you're just looking to repair a well-used board. Cut it, glue it, sand it, and finish it. That's all it takes. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you liked this one, make sure you check out my full library of videos with lots of other interesting projects. And if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and do the whole like and subscribe thing, because pandering to the almighty algorithm helps out my stats and grows the channel. Remember to hit that little bell, too. That way you'll get notified when new videos go live. Thanks again. I'll be seeing y'all real soon.